Hi, I'm Scott Hamilton, and I'm on the Zoom with Ivan from Disconnected. Now, this is a gentleman who reached out to me. What was it, 2018?
It was a good like 2-3 years ago, something like that.
And we started talking, and you sent me some music, and we started playing it. And now look at you; you're like big rock star now.
I'm not there yet, but I'm very, very pleased to be on your show, and it's you've been a great support throughout the years. You know, I have to say that we've got some great connections and friends in the US, and people have been so good to us. You know, like in the US as well, and we just can't wait to come and perform for you guys over there. We can't wait.
Because you were just getting off the last album, all the White Colossus stuff, and you had toured Europe and you'd done all these big things. And I guess you were probably getting ready to start working on the next phase or the cycle or whatever they call it. And then the pandemic hit. So what have you done with yourself during this time?
Yeah, well, what happened basically is that the pandemic hit in March 2020 for us in France, and like for the rest of the world, like with 3 or 4 more weeks, like previous or after, depending on the part of the world you were living in.
Mm-hmm.
So at that moment, we were still working on the recording of our second album, and we had big festivals planned for the summer of 2020. We were supposed to play at the Rock Fest in Barcelona. The day we were playing, I think it was Kiss and Judas Priest headlining. It was a big deal for us. We were playing at 2:30 p.m. for an hour, so it was a very distant slot for us. And then after we were gonna play by the end of July at Wacken Festival, which is the biggest one in Europe and the oldest one. So on a big stage as well, playing at something like 1:30 or something like that. So it was a big deal for us as well. And then we were playing another big festival in France named the Cabaret Vert, and we were to open for Slipknot on that festival.
Wow!
So all of that went
with the
in the atmosphere, with the fucking germs of the fucking virus.
Yep.
So everything have been postponed for 2021, and now everything is postponed again for 2022. So hopefully we will be able to do those shows in 2022. So everything stopped, and so in April we had already that song Unstoppable that was ready. We shot a video in February, just before the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wondered, at that moment, we were thinking, what are we going to do with this? Is it the right time to release a song in the middle of the beginning of that pandemic? Are people going to be interested in that and stuff? And at that moment also, we were starting to work with a very, very, very nice people in the US, Tom and George from Tag Publicity, who are publicists. And they said, come on, guys, release that song. It's a great song. Everybody's going to love to have something new to listen to. And I'm sure it's going to do very well. And they were so right. So we released that song, and it worked very well. We had a great response everywhere. We started to have, we started to be pitched on huge playlists as well on Spotify. So now we are not very far from 1 million stream on that song as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it was great, So we started from there, reaching out with our audience, gaining some new audience as well, and continue to work on the production of the album and on the recording, and like month after month. We didn't know what was gonna be the future, so we had to postpone every time the release of the album. And at some point, let's say this January, February, we thought this is not going to go anywhere with the album if we release it now. We've got such a we think that we have such a good album in our hands, we can't afford to release that
and have it not do well.
Yeah, and not tour straight after that. So we thought, what can we do to give, you know, like our people something to listen to? And so with our new digital label here in France, we had that idea of revisiting some of our previous stuff with new angles, you know, like unplugged orchestral, maybe remixing some songs as well and stuff. So we came up with that idea of that EP. And Adrian started with Unstoppable, because I mean it's a great song, and it's like a little lucky charm for us, you know. This song represents something special for the band now. And
but it's a very different version on the EP
yeah,
than what you released.
Yeah, exactly. And he did a great job of totally rearranging the song. You know, it's not just Unstoppable with acoustic guitars. It's different. The way it's been rearranging, there is
like reimagined.
Yeah, it's a different key. It starts a bit like a ballad, then you go to a kind of even a Spanish vibe, you know, with the guitars and the solos is doing on that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was so happy with that version that we go on with other songs, and we had other people involved in the production of that EP and the arrangements. And so I'm very, very happy that we've done that. And funny story again about the name of the EP. I told you that, you know, like since we toured with Tremonti, we stayed in touch with Mark, and it's such a nice guy, and we kept in touch, you know, like shooting messages to the others, you know, like for Happy New Year, birthdays, stuff like that.
Right.
How are you doing? How are you hanging on with this pandemic and stuff like that? And I remember every time we were having those little exchanges, it was always, you know, like telling us, yeah guys, you gotta keep busy during the downtime, you know. And this word, you know, like was stuck in my mind. I was thinking, wow, this word sounds pretty awesome, you know. I really like that word, the downtime. I don't really like the meaning of it because it means that we're stuck at home and we can't tour, but
right,
at the same time, the sound and everything. And so when we came up with that idea of the EP, straight away I thought about him, and I thought about this word, the downtime, and it was great as a theme, you know, for this EP.
Right.
So it was a little story about
that. Let me let them out. Dog ownership.
So you see this great man is always, you know, like a bit somewhere around us, in our minds, in our hearts and stuff. I mean, we've had such a tremendous time with him on tour that, you know, it really put a very strong print in our lives for the whole band. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes those tour bonding things don't go so well, so it's nice that this one turned out good.
And when I hear all the stories of other bands, you know, for example, I'm a big fan of podcasts, so I listen to a lot of podcasts because I like the topics and stuff, and B, not being, you know, English or American and being French, it's good for me for my practice of English. I stay sharp on the, you know, like the lingo, the expressions. So, you know, like not being able to go abroad and touring, I can't really practice. So I stay sharp with listening a lot of things in English and talking with some friends in the US or Australia, England and stuff. And I love to listen to some of them. I really like the No Fucking Regrets from Rob Flynn. Really good, really great stories and guests on this one. I really like the X-Men from Doc Coyle as well, from Bad Wolves. And I also listen a lot to the Jamie Jasta show as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's very good. So they all the time, you know, they share different experiences of the past with other big bands and friends of theirs, and there are so many stories about, like opening bands that had a rough time touring for big headliners and stuff. And I realize more and more how lucky we've been to do that tour with Mark, and after opening for Judas Priest, who were so nice with us as well. And I know someday we will eventually bump into a rougher situation, let's say.
Well, but hopefully you get big enough that you could do this for somebody else down the road, you know.
Yeah, we still have a lot of work and a lot of
I know,
things to accomplish before that,
but you were one of the success stories of the pandemic. I mean, Unstoppable became a big song worldwide.
yeah.
And that didn't happen for a lot of people during the pandemic. There were a lot of acoustic versions and covers and EPs that kind of came and went, and nothing really stuck. So kudos to you for doing so well with it.
Thanks, man. I mean, it was just the right song at the right time as well. You know, the that type of fight song, you know, like let's keep pushing, and don't regret being who you are, and just believe in yourself, and everything is going to go well as long as you decide to do something and to really go for it. You know, like it's everybody liked that theme, you know, when they were at home expecting things to get better, you know. I think it was a good motivator for everybody. And yeah, it's we seem to have a kind of a lucky star above us with that band, you know. I've got more experience in this business of music than the rest of the band, because I'm older. I'm from another generation. So you can see it with all the white hairs.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome
and
to the club.
I've had other bands, and you know, like it doesn't happen that often that things are going through that way and that quick. You know, it's been pretty quick for us. You know, like in very good conditions, and stars were most of the time very, very, very well aligned for us to go in the right path. You know, so.
Hey, when a lightning strikes, man, you got to jump on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now, yeah, we're just full of hope with what's happening in the US at the moment, seeing, you know, like all those festivals, big festivals being, you know, like announced for September, maybe this summer as well. I'm in touch with some friends of mine who are working for Gojira, for example. Who works as well with Tremonti and with Devin Townsend, and they are telling me that it looks pretty good for August, maybe for some stuff to happen and stuff. So we're a bit behind with Europe, but eventually we're gonna get there, and once it reopens, we're gonna be so ready, man, because we've got a terrific album on the way. We are starting to work as well with a new mixer as well, an American mixer, because we want that big, you know, like low bass type of sound that you guys know how to do so well, you know, like big bowly one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are working pretty hard with that, and yeah, I think we will release a new single from the second album with the video probably this fall. Release another one beginning of 2022, and probably release the album 2022, but I don't know when exactly. It will depend on the situation, really.
Right.
Probably, I hope for spring, so after we can tour and do the festivals, and maybe do another tour, you know, like by the fall of 2022, but who knows.
So you'll be mixing some of those new songs into the set before the album comes out. People need to go see you out and about.
Yeah. We will probably play the songs that would be released as singles in our new set when we go back on stage. Actually, the first gig we have, which is already planned and could should happen is in October, on a little festival in France, near where I live, by the way. And then after that, we've got some meetings with we work with a big promoter in Germany, without promotion, and we are pretty close with those guys. And I know that, for example, in February and March 2022, they have a tour plan with Scott Stapp, from Creed. So maybe some opportunity could show up for us to open for those type of tours. If Mark is doing something else again in Europe, or maybe something could be possible with him as well. We don't know. We have to keep in touch with everybody and see where we could eventually fit in.
But you guys are a really good fit for that, so that sounds great.
Could be, yeah. We've got, with the new album, we've got some very, I think we've pushed the qualities of our music and of our songwriting to the next level. When there's going to be aggression, it's going to be very aggressive. When there's going to be catchy stuff, it's going to be very catchy, very melodic as well. So yeah, I'm so there's so much anticipation for us, like to witness how it's gonna be received by our fans and the rest of the people yet to discover the band.
I can't even imagine what it's like to have, they're good songs and you have to keep them under wraps until it's time to let them out there. I can't even imagine what that's like.
Yeah, man,
everybody hear this. So we're gonna do an EP. Well, here, take this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not, to me, I always say, like now I'm doing some promotion for this EP. I don't want to put it to a very lower level to what we have to present later. To me, it's more like an aperitif before the big fat dinner.
Right.
Exactly. I hope you're gonna be, like full up with the next album we have to serve you.
Yeah, because the EP should whet the appetite. Should be just enough to make you a little bit hungrier for that album.
Yeah, and it's a way as well to stay in touch with our audience, because it's always difficult. We've been thinking about different stuff to do, like live streams wise and stuff like that. But in the other hand, we're not big enough to do something with the right conditions to still maintain that level of presentation, so to say. This is something we have been working very hard on with Adrian. We don't want to release anything that can be, like a bit cheaper or something like that. We always want to deliver something 100% what we can deliver at the moment. Right. So it means that we need to have the right money at some point to do those things, and so we can't compete too many races at the same time,
Right.
As we're still independent, we do our promotion, like we pay with our money. We don't have a big label behind us who is giving us advances and stuff like that. It's so we find investors and funds and stuff like that. And the very, very last thing we want to do is to ask to our fan to raise money for us. We will eventually do that for a big tour if we need some help with that. But before that, we prefer not to release too many stuff, but always deliver quality. That's the strategy that we have in the band.
And I think that's key with just about anything these days. In modern times, we have a lot of things vying for our attention, TV shows and streaming services, music and movies and food and everything. And I think the quality is what's going to get us through this next phase of however we're evolving as a species. You will go back to the places where you get the best meal. You will go back to the bands that give you the best experiences. You will go back to the best movies that give you the, that kind of thing. And the dude, quality over quantity. I'm all with you.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I've seen some stuff from major bands. Sometimes they've been releasing some stuff. I was really like questioning those choices. I was thinking, do you really want your audience to watch that? It's
Is this how you want to represent the band right
now?
I
mean it was I understand you have to stay in touch, and it's a business and everything, but at some point with some bands, I was thinking, to our level, which is a lot lower than some of the guys that I'm talking about or referring to, we would never release something like that. Never. Because it's it's part of the dream, of the mystic of a band, of a music. If you're an artist, you're a bit different from the rest of the world, and it has to stay like that. If you start to be too much, I don't want to say accessible, because we are very accessible as human beings and we like to talk to everybody, and me on Facebook and everything.
was going to say, we talk all the time. So
yeah, I always answer to anybody. I don't take myself for anything special as a man and stuff. But when it comes to my band, I want the people to always have those references of something that is a bit special, and which is a bit, like a higher level, sort of say, without being arrogant in any kind of way. But at the same time, what's the point of doing something if it's to be like the guy next door is doing as an amateur? I don't see it. So that's why, because we don't have maybe enough money to do enough things, like all the time. But also it's a choice of, all right, let's think about this thing. Do we want to release this that way or that way? Is it enough? It's always the same thing. And some people prefer to do quantity over quality. I mean, it's their choice, and some people will still like it, and some people will say, maybe they will question a bit the strategy of those bands. I don't know. I was talking the other day as well with a guy in the US, an American manager as well, who's in Massachusetts, and we started a relationship together of maybe working together and see if after the pandemic there could be any possibilities for Disconnected to come over in the US to perform, and find and find a way financially to do something possible for both parts. And yeah, he was telling me lots of bands here went down the toilets because of the pandemic. Lots of them have been lazy, so all those that have been keeping the good work and keep pushing and keep being proactive and working and digging deep, once it's going to be reopened, those bands are going to capitalize on that situation, because they're going to be ready with some new great material, and everybody's going to want to see those guys instead of those who are
trying to catch up.
Trying to catch up. It's do you feel like that? Have you seen those kind of things on your side, in where you're living and stuff?
It's been interesting to see some of the smaller bands rise to a level higher than some of the bigger bands, because they have spent the time creatively, instead of some, like you said, some of the bigger bands have just been, hey, here's a song that we wrote a couple years ago. Here it is. We finished it, blah, 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 blah. Here's another one. Here's another one. But the bands who have done some creative things with their fans and some creative versions of their songs and just been a little more creative, I've seen, the fan base kind of go over to them a little more and be more interested in that than just the guys that are, they're still doing the same thing they were doing. This hasn't really affected them. These guys are using this to create art and stuff. And I think people realize that. I think people see that.
Yeah. I think that also lately, probably, especially in your country, there was a lot of separation due to all the problems you had during the election. We followed that pretty closely here in France, because
it's much worse online than what we deal with, like at the grocery store. We go to the grocery stores, we all get along.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you know what? It's always the same thing. It's because on social medias, everybody can grow balls, and it's a different story when you're face to face with a real man.
Right. Absolutely.
It's a bit of a pity, I'll say, because lots of people are talking absolutely cack, and what I really dislike in this period of time is people, when you disagree with someone, you don't have to be an enemy.
Right.
We can still talk, it's not a big deal. There is still normally more things that can reunite us more than separates us, and so if I don't have the same opinion than you, if I don't vote for the same guy, it doesn't mean that I want to put a bullet
Right.
between your two eyes. It doesn't mean that at all. And look at what happened, for example, to a band like the Bad Wolves. I'm a huge fan of that band, huge fan of Bad Wolves. And to see how those guys have been parting ways because of all those cancel culture, separation, and all the big hoo-has there were between,
several bands have fallen victim to that. And I'm like,
it's crazy, man. I just don't get it. You were doing
being the band would be more important. Music. That's just me, but
I mean, it's such great music. And when you know the career of those guys in particular, because they are not like youngsters and upcomers, they've been doing shitloads of things in the past. They're in their 40s and stuff like that. And when you see the opportunity that shows up again with that band, and to risk all that because of all that situation, it's breaking my heart, man. I mean, I love their music. Their last album is such a badass album, Nation. It's great fucking songs everywhere, and to see that, I really hope that they're going to be able to go back on their feet and do great with a new singer, and I hope that Tommy on his side is going to do great as well. But it's
that's rock and roll.
Yeah, but again, man, it all comes to some very high level politics people, and the consequences are in people like us.
Yeah.
Those people, they've been to the same schools, they've been working in the same companies and stuff like that, and they swap places here and there, and they will always stay up there. And they create this atmosphere in between people like us,
right,
grounded people,
that buffer zone.
Yeah, and we are the idiots that are ready to kill each other for this one or this one. And when it's gonna be over, they're still gonna go to their golf course, personal golf course at $1 billion worth, and play and laugh in your back, man. It's crazy.
And that's why I'm all about rock and roll.
Yeah. I mean,
that's real.
We should just try and do little things day by day for ourselves, for the good of people around you, and it's I don't know, it's
be better humans.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that bad if we don't agree on certain things, it's whatever. It's crazy. Yeah.
I live on an island in paradise and we all get along, but I did see some people get into some arguments over politics, and I'm like, you know what? I vote. That's my piece. I'm good. I'm going to go back to listen to some music. I'm all about the music.
I don't react to those things on Facebook normally. I just share good vibes with the music and stuff like that. And because as soon as you start to do some comments on some stuff, it's
you get pulled down into it.
Yeah, the haters. The big wave of big mouth haters is coming upon you.
I got no time for that. No time at all.
No.
So when does the EP drop, and where can we get it?
So the EP is dropping on the 14th of May on all digital platforms. So it's going to be a worldwide release on all platforms. And we already released the first single of the EP, which is Unstoppable Unplugged, as we were talking just earlier.
Great video, by the way. This was
released on the 16th of April. And there's the video. So if you want to support us, you can go on Spotify, stream the song, buy the song on iTunes Store. You can go on our YouTube channel on YouTube and leave a comment if you like it. Give us a thumb up. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube, Instagram, whatever. You can find us everywhere. If we are not under disconnected on certain networks, we are disconnected. If you wanna find us, so I think it's on Instagram and maybe on YouTube as well. We are disconnected. So.
Yes, that's how I found you on YouTube.
You will find us easily. So yeah. yeah. We have other videos that we've shot of unplugged stuff from the EP. So we will release that probably after the release of the EP. So you will have more videos to watch. And then after this summer, we're gonna be, like 100% on the promotion of the new album, and we'll be working again with our guys of Tag Publicity for the US. So you will all know what's happening. Tom and Tracy will email you for sure.
And we'll do another one of these Zoom things.
Oh yeah, man, whatever you want, I'm always up for a good chat,
Well, I like your garden there. What did you do this during the pandemic?
Yeah. So as I had a lot of time, yeah, I started to be I started to be a teacher as well for my son. I started to be he's 5 years old. So when he was not able to go to school, I had to,
do some homeschooling.
Yeah, the teachers were sending us some homeworks and stuff to do at home, so we can keep him busy in the morning for him to work and not watch too much TV, as all kids do, I'm sure.
Right.
And so then we had a lot of work because, like I was telling you before, we bought a house with my wife in September in the south of France near Nîmes.
Nice.
So we had a lot of work to do in the house before moving in. So we did that for probably like 5 to 6 weeks. We've been working like 8 to 10 hours a day, 7 days on 7. I started to have the hands of a builder,
right?
I got hands of an artist and of a guitarist. Yeah. So it was all crusty and
paint under your fingernails and
yeah, exactly. So we had a great fun doing this, because when you do some works for your own property, it's always something different to experience.
Yep.
We've done a lot with that. We've got a nice little house now with a nice little garden. And then after, when the weather was allowing it, I started to work a bit on trimming the trees and the grass, and I'm gonna start to grow a bit of vegetables now for the summer.
Ah, very nice.
A bit of tomatoes, a bit of salad. Yeah, I'm gonna try things.
Why not?
In between writing songs, yeah, I'm gonna try things, y'all.
Do you find that helps with the creativity of writing new songs when you do these earthy things, when you get your hands dirty?
Yeah, it's good in the way that I discovered that it was the only thing with sports that was disconnecting me from music.
Really?
Because I'm such an addict with music that I think about it all the time. I'm always, looking for new stuff, new music, new ways to improve what we can do with the strategy of the band. When I've got an idea, I always write down. I always, play a bit of guitar and record stuff on my phone. And I have a hard time to disconnect from all this, and it's sometimes it's a problem at home with my wife because I'm a bit too much with those things. But I suppose like a lot of people involved in this passion. So yeah, when I'm just doing what I have to do with the garden, it's a good holiday for my mind. Yeah.
Right. Clears the way for more work to get done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the family has to be happy having you home a little bit more. You're not always in a studio or on the road. That's a plus. That's been a plus, right?
Yeah, it is. It's been, and at the same time, it's pretty difficult for the balance of the energy of our family, because we are we are so used to be apart as well,
Oh, right.
and my wife is doing the same job as I do. She's a singer as well, but she just works in cover bands. She doesn't do any songwriting with original bands, and she doesn't have that type of career. But she's been doing this for 20 years as well. And so we are very used to like leave the house kind of every weekends and go a bit on tour here and there. And it's always great to regroup and hang with the family for some moment, but always having that perspective of leaving again.
Right.
So we had to find another rhythm in our life with this, because I started to be a performing artist when I was 16. I'm 44, so it's the first time that I'm inactive like that on stage for so long.
Right.
And for my wife, it's the same. So, all of a sudden everything stops. You stay at home, and you have to find things to do.
Absolutely.
So we've done some covers as well, some acoustic covers, some duet as well with my wife. I don't know if you've seen those videos.
Mm-hmm.
When it was when we had the first lockdown in March, April, we started to work on some covers to like to film ourselves doing those things and post them on Facebook, so people can have something to listen to and to watch. And we had a great time doing that. We were very busy with this, and after there was the summer, so we were working a lot for the buying of our house and stuff. And then after the works, and yeah, so we've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't time went pretty quick, compared to some people. So yeah, it was great, and I'm sure our son is very happy to have us both, like with him
Sure.
all day long. And sometimes it's a bit tough on our nerves, because he's
Can
very
imagine.
he's very energetic and very demanding. And so yeah, you see, for example, the third lockdown is gonna end up for us at the end of this weekend. So he's gonna go back to school, and it's gonna be pretty cool for us.
a little
Yeah, a little bit of a
yeah, because you kind of have to keep his attention, don't you? When you're
yeah.
home and it's during daylight hours, you got to keep him busy, or it's going to get out of hand.
Yeah, and he's the only child that we have. So, and we're too old now to have another one. And with our job, like doing the same job together, we decided that maybe it was time for us to stop with this, and having a second child wouldn't be maybe the best move. So he's on his own. So of course, like when he wants to play and stuff,
You're the dude.
Yeah, we're the dude. I'm the dude. And we're lucky that we live in a beautiful region in the south of France, and the weather is really good as well. So normally every afternoon I take him to a park, and he can play with friends, and we can play soccer together and stuff like that. And I make him very tired, so in the evening he's releasing the pressure with us, and he can go to bed and have a nice sleep, and we can have our moment with his mom together, just for us. So yeah.
Got to be honest, dude. I don't have kids, but I have 2 little dogs. I walk them 4 times a day because they're always tired. They're much more subdued because they've been busy today.
Oh, all right. Okay. They prefer to stay at home and have a good nap and eat, and that's it. You have
tired puppy is a happy puppy.
Okay. All right.
That might work for your son. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ivan, it's been a pleasure to actually sit down and have a conversation with you for once. It's not an email or a Facebook.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear that correctly. Yeah.
It has been wonderful to sit down with you and have an actual conversation with you. That wasn't email, that wasn't Facebook.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. It's always better, you know, to have the sound of the voice and to interact even physically throughout the video. I really enjoyed those Zoom chats, and yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you a bit more. You know, it's cool.
Finally.
Yeah, man.
Well, dude, everybody go get the Downtime. The EP will be out on May the 14th. Don't miss this thing. It's good stuff from France.
Yeah, exactly.
Disconnected. Ivan, thank you for taking the time today out of your little backyard. I want an update in about a month or so. Let's see how things are growing and how your trimming is going.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a little visit for you guys.
Let's do it. Let's do a backyard visit with Ivan.
You'll see. Maybe I could do some videos of me, you know, like cutting grass and stuff like that, and do
Pruning.
some tutos of he's singing, but he's also trimming the grass and the trees.
That would be great. I'd watch.
Yeah, that could be funny. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me, and you know, whenever you need me back on the show, I'm up for it, and fingers crossed we're gonna find a way in the years to come to the US and see what's happening for us over there. We are very fortunate to be surrounded by very good people and very you know, like how could I say that, dedicated people to help us.
Supportive.
So yeah, at some point it should happen. It's a big dream of ours, and I'm sure we can do something good over here. Yeah.
Dude, you come over here, I'll be there. Wherever.
Yeah.
Road tripping, doing it.
Yeah, cool, man. I hope so. Yeah. So take care.
You do the same. All the
Stay
best to the
safe.
band and the family,
Yeah.
Ivan. Take care and good things ahead.
Thanks so much, man. Take care. Bye-bye.